All right, welcome to the Tribe Digital Marketing Series for today. I am joined by Brent Archambault, the head of client engagement from LeadMD. Brent, thanks for joining.
Thanks.
So I typically like to break the ice a little bit and just tell everybody what you're most passionate about in marketing.
Yeah, so right now I'm focused a lot on the alignment between sales and marketing and both the cohesive messaging and how we communicate all across the buyer's journey and across that customer life cycle. But I think even more importantly, how we take the feedback loop between the two. So how we take sales insights uncovered and move them to marketing so we can incorporate that into our marketing strategy. And that sales is aware of all the things that marketing's doing, producing, whether that be case studies or campaigns that they're running, so that that can add to the sales individual's toolkits so that they have things that they can go to when they're in the middle of a sales conversation where it's not just their word, but they're like, look, here's some evidence. Here's a use case. Here's some industry data. Here's what we're actually doing. And I think often what I see, even in small companies, is that the sales individuals aren't aware of what marketing's producing all the time.
Right.
Marketing certainly isn't aware of the insights that sales are uncovering in those many conversations.
Hey, that's amazing. It's super powerful stuff. And, sales and marketing alignment is something I know our organization put some research behind at the end of last year. But just bringing that full circle with the feedback loop, I think is probably the most important part of that, and giving everybody visibility into what's happening so that we're driving a cohesive message in the market, regardless of it's coming from a sales individual or a marketing individual. That's super, super powerful stuff. Well, right now, most companies are dealing with events being canceled, which is oftentimes a marketing and a sales initiative, right? To drive leads, to drive conversations, whatever that may be. Organizations that are heavily driven on face-to-face interactions like medical device, pharmaceutical, they're not getting the face time that they would need to drive their business forward. What's something that people should be thinking about now that time maybe is freed up for sales and marketing alignment, whatever it may be? What's something that you would recommend people focus their efforts on right now?
Sure. Yeah, that's a great question. I think aligned with that marketing sales alignment piece. So one of the things I found, being locked down, working from home, is I'm much more productive, right? I feel like I'm more done. I'm churning through my own to-do list, but I feel less connected to the organization. And I think, and there's a lot that occurs in organization, like secondhand conversations and just seeing what's going on,
Completely.
right? That keeps you connected in, and you learn things kind of secondhand in that way. And we're losing that in this completely locked down working from home space somewhat. I would focus on creating virtual spaces that mirror that. So whether that's, we've done internally some of these virtual happy hours where we just collectively go back and forth and trade information, what's going on in the day, to actually protecting specific time to look at where we do sales retrospects. So actually breaking down close win and close loss and determining what that buyer brought to the table in that conversation, right? So what were their assumptions they brought with them? What information, what had they researched? What questions did they ask? And using this time to create some collaborative Zoom meetings where we get together and walk through those things. And then the marketing then can share that back. So I think it's important to protect that time and create those virtual spaces because they're not happening, in the moment. They're not happening organically right now.
Totally agree. I like that. It's just like a quick tagline, feeling more productive, but less connected.
Yeah.
That's probably going to be the tagline for this video when I put it on LinkedIn, but
all right. I'll wait for my royalties to roll in.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's funny you say that, even a real life example, you had set up a retrospective on one of our clients recently that I was a part of. And, from the sales standpoint, it was super productive because it gave me more insight than I've ever had in terms of what actually happened in the time from when, I sold the account. You have your regular touch bases and whatnot with the client, but it's not the same as the people who are in there day to day. But I'm also thinking forward about, okay, if I see or feel or hear someone that looks like this situation, how are we positioned better now? Or maybe is that work we don't want now? Trying to just think of it from the standpoint of how we can sell more effectively and put people through. I thought that was super productive and got me more connected. We were forced to be virtually, but got me more connected with the delivery team on something that, I normally wouldn't have as much purview into. So I think it's super powerful.
Sure. Yeah. I love retrospects, both in sales, looking at marketing, and in delivery, right? Because we live in this world where we hypothetically, from a strategy standpoint, design how we want our services to look and design our marketing message and design our sales process. but when the rubber meets the road, it like doesn't play out that way almost always. So actually coming back and saying, how did it actually play out? And then helping to use that information to inform the other parts of the organization and our general strategies, super important. And oftentimes that information is super siloed. So inviting sales into a delivery retrospect. Here's how this campaign went. And then sales inviting marketing into a sales retrospect. We won this, and this is why.
Yep.
And super important to be intentional.
Yeah, that's great stuff. All right. Well, Brent, I appreciate you taking a few minutes to educate. And that's part of our offer to the market right now, is to just provide some ongoing education. So appreciate your time, and you'll see this up here soon.
Sounds good. Thanks.